50 Russian words per week, episode number 8. So by the end of today, you will know 50 nouns of household things. And as always, you can study this list with the first link in the description, add it to your vocabulary, and then practice it with our exercises so you can retain this for a long time. If you're not a member of Be Fluent yet, then the second link will grant you 7 days of a free trial. Check it out. Now, let's get started. Only nouns for today. Потолок means ceiling. Потолок doesn't mean the roof, but the ceiling. Простыня is a bed sheet. Простыня. Постель is the bedside. So постель doesn't refer to a bed as if it's an object. Постель is where you sleep. It can be on the floor, on the carpet, on the mattress, in the car. You wouldn't call your car a bed, right? But постель refers to that. It's your bedside, wherever your bed is, okay? Wherever you sleep is постель. Now, of course, if you have a bed for постель, then that's good for you. You are lucky, okay? So постель doesn't refer to an actual object. It's more of a place where you lay your head to go to sleep. Стенка is typically, so стена is a wall. Стенка is a wall of some object. Let's say you have a drawer, right? A drawer has two side walls. Those would be called стенка. So it's not a wall within a living space. It's a wall of an object. It can be, your stands. Maybe you have a stand in your room that has those walls. So it's those things. Стенка. Ковер is a carpet. Ковер. Lift is an elevator. Lift. Балкон, of course, is a balcony. Ступенька is one step. Ступенька is one step of the stairs, for example. Подоконник means windowsill. Подоконник literally means under a window. Подоконник. Спальня is the bedroom. Спальня. Garage, what do you think it is? Garage, of course. Garage. Прихожая is when you come in the house and that initial area where you take your shoes off, take your outerwear off, that's прихожая. Because it comes from приходить, to come, to arrive. So it's the arrival place. In a lot of Russian houses, especially in the areas where you have just cold weather, you would have a big buffer area where you have the entrance door, then прихожая, where you take your stuff off, and then the entrance to the house. Because if you have super cold weather outside, if you open the door, that cold air will just rush into the house. It's going to get cold. But if you have that buffer room, you can have that buffer room to be a little bit colder, but then when you open the door to the house won't get as cold. Almost all houses in Russia have that прихожая, where people take their stuff off. Even if they don't, even if it's an apartment, let's say, you still have a little bit of that initial area, where you can take your outerwear off, your shoes off. In Russia, shoes are not allowed in the house, not for any cultural reasons, but just for the reasons of being clean. A lot of Russian towns, they still have a lot of dirt, meaning like you walk on actual just dirt, on earth, okay? It won't be paved. So your shoes are just simply dirty when you come back from the outside. So yeah, a lot of those cultural things for you here. Kran is a faucet. Kran, where you have the water. Kran. Also, kran can be referring to an industrial thing that carries a lot of weight. I forget what they're called, but in English. But that's kran as well, that picks up heavy lifting during construction and brings it to some other parts of the construction. Also can be called kran too. Next is занавеска. Занавеска is a curtain. Занавеска is typically referring to... So you would have two layers of curtains in Russia, typically. One is just a transparent one, like white one, that still lets the sun in. But if you look from the outside into the house, you won't see anything because of this white sheet. So it lets the sun in. That part is занавеска. Sometimes we refer to that as тюль, also, but занавеска I think is very common too, because the actual curtain that blocks the sun will be called something else. Next is hall. Hall is a hallway, and it's very uncommon to have hall in a house. Most likely it's going to be hall in some bigger, maybe stadium places and things like that, museums maybe, where you have like just a passage from one side to the next hall. Not on a house really, because there's not a lot of houses that have the square footage to fit that hole, okay? Next is тумбочка. Тумбочка is a bedside table. Тумбочка, very funny word, тумбочка. Бритва is a shaver, бритва. Жительство is living. Жительство is typically used in the phrase место жительства, place of living. Is when you reside. Жительство by itself, I guess it can mean residence or life and living, your like everyday living place, жительство. Салфетка is a napkin. Салфетка. Next is наволочка. Наволочка is a pillowcase. Наволочка. Next is jalousie, or sometimes we call them jalousie, depends on the stress really, but because it's not a Russian word, it means blinds. Blinds that have, when you close your window with like, parts, not like one curtain, but it's going to be just sections of it. So blinds, jalousie. Ванная комната. Ванная комната is a bathroom. Ванная комната, it can be anything. It can be a bath there. Sometimes ванная комната can include a toilet as well. So it's really up to the house, but typically ванная комната is where you have ванна, which is a bath. So if you don't have a bath, it wouldn't be ванная комната. Next is зубная нить, dental floss. Зубная нить verbatim is tooth thread. Okay, when you have a needle and a thread, and that thread, I guess, is very similar to dental floss too. That's why we call it зубная нить. Dental thread, dental floss. Крем, of course, is a cream, крем. Стиральная машина is a washing machine. Стиральная машина. Стиральная means washing. Машина, of course, is a machine. Стиральный порошок, which means a washing powder or washing detergent. Стиральный порошок, but порошок is powder. It's not a liquid substance, okay, порошок. Туалетная бумага is, of course, toilet paper. Туалетная бумага. Гостиная is a living room. Гостиная. In fact, it comes from a stem гость, which means a guest. So it's a place for guests. Гостиная. Тапочки is slippers. Тапочки. We're moving on to household, I guess, outerwear and just clothing in general. Халат means a bathrobe. Халат. In fact, халат is a very popular wear in a Russian household. You can sometimes see maybe older generation. My mom never wore халат. Maybe older generation just wears this bathrobe or just a robe around the house, just for the ease of it, okay? Белье means linen. Белье can be linen when it comes to the bed linen. It can also be, белье can be referring to just your underwear, maybe your bras and your panties and things like that. So белье can be referring to that as well. Майка is a t-shirt. Майка, in fact, is a shirt. Майка typically doesn't have sleeves like I have right here, right? It'll be just sleeveless shirt, майка. Sometimes in just like our everyday life, we can refer to any t-shirt as майка too, just for the simplicity of it. Шарф is a scarf. Шарф, very similar. Купальник is a swimsuit. Купальник. Футболка is a t-shirt. Футболка. Of course, comes from a word футбол, which means football, soccer, and that's what they wear there, right? Just like these kinds of shirts, so футболка. Next we have джемпер, is a jumper. Джемпер is really like a sweater, like a very thin sweater, typically for more formal looking sweaters, not the ones like, not the hoodies and things like that. Джемпер. Сандали is, of course, sandals. Сандали. Sometimes we have the two E's at the end, sometimes just one. Сандали. Кроссовки is sneakers. Кроссовки. Ночная рубашка means nightgown. Рубашка really is a shirt, so night shirt. Пояс is a belt. Пояс is not really a belt that you put in your jeans and all those things. It's more like when you, let's say, if you're a hunter, you have a belt with like different things there, with a knife maybe there. Maybe if you are a construction worker as well, you can have your tool belt. That'll be пояс. When it comes to regular jeans and pants, we have a different word for that. Shorty is shorts, of course. And the last word is колготки, which means tights, колготки. We are done with the words of just the clothing. We have about 7 more words for just things that you can find around the city. Okay, objects and places. For example, химчистка, dry cleaning. Химчистка. Хим here means chemical. Чистка means cleaning. So chemical cleaning. Polyclinica is a clinic. Polyclinica. Polyclinica is a clinic where the reason why it's poly, because there's many different doctors there. Not just like a dental clinic and things like that. You have all the doctors there. Polyclinica. Спортзал is a gym. Спортзал. Спортивный зал. Sports hall. Okay? Спортзал means a gym. Парикмахерская is a hairdresser. Not a person, but a place. Hairdresser salon, I guess. Парикмахерская. Посольство is an embassy. Посольство. Зоопарк is a zoo. Зоопарк really means zoo park. Зоопарк. Стадион is a stadium. Стадион. And finally, parking is, of course, parking. Sometimes you can see парковка. Парковка is a more Russian-like word, parking. But these days, parking is used as well. That is all. You've learned 400 Russian words of A2 level so far. I hope you feel accomplished here, but study them all with Be Fluent with this button right here, or keep on watching our YouTube videos with this next one. It's up to you.